Rovers, and welcome to Queensland Rovers YouTube channel's new show, Be Prepared for Iceland. Over the next few episodes, we're going to look at what to bring, what to expect, and some travel advice for first-time travellers. This episode is all about gear.
Follow your head to new places. Take a trip with open ears. Say hello to some new faces. Hiking up, surfing down. Don't leave any harmful traces. Difficult to take the step. You just have to tie your laces. Be prepared.
I met up with Georgia and Kelsey, both Queensland Rovers, and we went through the Australian contingent's suggested packing list while also giving a bit of information over particular items. The session went on for so long and we had so many bits of information that we've actually split the video into two videos. This is episode 1 and episode 2. There's a link at the end of this video and a link in the description. You can also find it on the Queensland Rovers YouTube channel. So here is part 1 of the packing list with me and Georgia and Kelsey.
So we're going to talk about some packing tips and tricks today. We've got Georgia and Kelsey with us. Kelsey, this is your third international scouting event in a row, is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
That's going to be crazy. And Georgia, you're heading to Nord and Iceland, mate.
Yes.
Awesome. So you've both been packing and going on hikes and international activities for a while now. What do you take? What do we take? The Australian contingent have provided us with a packing list they've recommended. We're going to go through it and then talk about a couple of other little things that you can take. They've recommended a minimum 60 litre backpack to take with you. You've got one here, Georgia?
Yeah, so I've got an Osprey 65 litre pack, which works really well. It's water resistant. They have a lifetime warranty on them, which is awesome as well. And it's really great. It also, I've gotten this pack that attaches to it as well, so if you go on a day hike, you can take it off. If you're traveling and want to put everything on the plane, you can attach it, and it just works so well.
Very cool. Mine's a little bit bigger. Yes. The Black Wolf Grand Tour.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of other brands and styles of different hike packs that you can get. Kathmandu is a good place to sort of start, or if you want to go to Anaconda as well, you'll find whole heaps of varied brands. My pack personally is from MacPack, so it's a 65 litre pack, but you can also access pockets from the base, so as you don't have to dig through from the top of your pack and pull things out to get things at the bottom. So there's an awful lot of like diverse designs that you can get across the market. And
be wary that they can be expensive, like straight up. Have a look around, do your research, check out the sales. Sales are on a lot of the time.
And make sure you get a pack fitted to you, because the fitting is the worst. If you go on a hike, and you'll end up with bruises on your collarbones and your hips, because if the pack doesn't fit you right, it's not a good time.
And that's exactly right. We sort of covered it a bit before, but they also recommended a smaller backpack for day trips. A lot of packs can come with an extra day pack attached to them, or one that you can attach to it.
Yeah. If you don't have one like this, you can get a little tiny one. This is another backpack I'll be taking, just to add lots of other little things in, but it packs down so small and then becomes a full-on backpack. It's really great.
I absolutely love that. That's incredible.
They can fit like everything in there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a whole backpack.
And that's nuts.
Insane.
I want one. I want like 7. I don't even want this anymore. There's also, you are going to want a hiking tent. They recommend a tent that is suitable for Iceland. It can get cold even in summer.
And a lot of rain.
In Iceland, there is rain expected. You can get hiking tents. This is a hiking tent here, quite light, reasonably small. We've got set up some tents behind us out there. and usually about 1 man.
Yeah, you
I
want
reckon.
1 man or 2 man tent. Really look for the weight in them, because weight is obviously going to be a big issue. We can only take 20 kilos to and from a lot of the countries, especially if you're doing transfers. So weight is a big thing to look at. Obviously want enough room for you to be in there and comfortable,
Yeah.
but also still carry.
I think this one is 1.8 kilos. That's probably the average of
Yeah.
like a hiking tent. How they can get heavier, but again, the heavier it gets, the more it encroaches on your on your limit.
But
of how
obviously
much
the
you
lighter
can
it
take.
gets, the more expensive it gets. So
Yes.
you've got to
Such
weigh
as-
those options and definitely look around and online and even in stores. They're already give you advice.
Also, light doesn't necessarily mean
Quality.
warm.
Or quality.
Definitely.
Warm because it can get cold. They do say that it'll be about an average of 12. So
Yeah.
for Australian summers, we're definitely not used to that.
So both the tents as examples that have been set up here, both of them have been designed for both the Australian climate and also to cope with a lot of alpine climates as well. So they're quite nifty tents.
Something else that you will need to keep yourself warm is a sleeping bag. Again, some sleeping bags can get rather large and rather bulky in your pack, but you can get small ones.
Yeah, this one is 2 degrees. I have the same one. You can make it go a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And yeah, compressing it, taking up less room, you're saving room in your pack. And if this is 2 degrees, you think that won't be good for you, you can get a sleeping bag liner to put inside it, and it'll get even warmer. And yeah,
Sleeping bag liners don't tend to take up that much space.
Yeah.
In fact,
you
some
can
of
fit
them
it in there. Yeah.
some of them can be the size of the backpack. And that'll just add extra warmth to you. I know that's why I've got this, taking this 2 degree one. I will probably have a sleeping bag liner with me, just in case. With these though, is that, and I'm assuming, yours is the same, these are down.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
Don't
wet.
get down wet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it gets wet, it won't get dry, and it will never be as warm as you want it to be after that.
You
event.
can get synthetic ones that do pack down to the same sort of size. They end up being cheaper, but just to sort of as a general thing, if you're getting a synthetic one, go for something that's of a warmer grade.
Synthetic also
because they're
seems
not
to
as
have the
warm.
tendency of being rather heavier than
okay.
down sleeping bags are. So obviously it's way up and take the risk. It's- Yeah.
I know someone that got the same size sleeping bag as this one, but theirs is synthetic, and it's the same size, same weight, but it's a 10 degree bag instead of a 2 degree bag. So I think size and weight is sort of it's similar to, but it's not as good temperature wise. The next thing we're going to talk about is sleeping mats. You want something small and lightweight because you can get some really large bed rolls and that sort of stuff. You're not taking our blue foam mats anymore.
And you need to make sure they're insulated, because the cold air, if they're filled with air, that's going to travel through and just make you colder than if you were laying on the ground. So key feature.
Very much so. Wouldn't recommend taking those blue classic yoga mat rolls that we all took at the Scout when we were in the younger sections.
I've still got mine from Jamboree.
They are
It's
very good.
365 on it.
Incredibly bulky, incredibly large, and they do not provide you with as much insulation as one would expect in these sort of climates.
These
That
ones-
makes sense.
yeah.
It's also not very good for the back.
No, it's also not good for transport either. So if you're hiking with stuff, especially we're getting on and off planes, because most of us will be doing pre-tour, post-tour or so much, and people will be doing plane transfers in the lead up to Iceland. It's not great to have things sitting on the outside of your pack, and quite often people will have those blue yoga mats strapped to the back of their packs. Don't be surprised if it goes missing in transit.
I'm not gonna lie, I've run that risk a couple of times.
Really?
We can just sort of. A mat this long can roll up to something quite small.
Yeah.
Keeps going.
This just keeps going.
And this is the small size. It only ends up being 68 centimeters, but it can go up to 198. And I don't have my thing.
It's fine. It takes a long time to do this.
Okay, I have a bag for it. That,
Tell you what, we'll keep
rolls air
talking.
into
We'll
it.
keep talking. You do that.
On the other side of it is my bedroll can come in 6 different sizes, as well as George's does. It's from Wild Earth, which is down at Belly Heads. It's great. You can also buy stuff online from them, and their turnaround period is very quick. But anyway, it's a rib sort of feature. It comes in multiple sizes and also multiple widths as well. So you're not just looking at length, but width too. But the plus side about this thing is that it only takes 6 breaths to blow up in its entirely. So
6 breaths?
6 breaths. And
How many are you up to, Georgia?
the downside of this, though, of course, is that it will set you back at around $100. If you get the sales, I got mine, for example, at $98. But if the larger sizes do go up in price from $100.
Thank you to Kelsey and Georgia for coming on the show, helping us out with some of this gear. It's very handy to know. So we'll, I guess we'll see you guys in Iceland.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome.
So that's part 1. The link for episode 2 is coming up right after this. But to keep up to date with all of Queensland Rovers videos, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can find us online at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, all at QLD Rovers. And for more information, visit www.qldrovers.org.au. I'm Nick Lindy from Roverline, and remember to always be prepared.